Welcome to summer school. I am Professor Nestel, and this is Howie's College of Marketing Knowledge. See, just by wearing glasses, a sport coat, and a shirt, I've already primed you guys to think, wow, this guy must be pretty smart. Or you might be thinking he might be a dork. Either way, dorks are smart. So you've been primed, my friends. If you've ever been to an attorney's office, you might see a lot of resource books and the law and all these volumes of books. Why would they need that with the World Wide Web and now artificial intelligence? Truth is, they don't really need them, but they're still priming you. Maybe in the old days they would do the research that way, but nowadays, not really, right? And so what happens is every single one of us is either being primed by advertisers or marketers, or we are priming ourselves by telling ourselves and giving ourselves limiting beliefs. So I'll give you an example of a study that was done years ago of job applicants. They said, you're gonna go into a job interview, we have set it up next door, and you're gonna report back to us what the interviewer may have said or referenced and whether or not you felt there was any discrimination or any bias. And right before they went in, they had a makeup artist come in and put a scar across the applicant's cheek. Showed them what the scar looked like. It was very pronounced. And they said, don't mention it, but just go in and do the job interview. What we're doing is checking to see if there's any bias based on physical or facial disfigurement. So they took the mirror away. The people said now they're ready to go in. And right before they went into the room to be interviewed, the makeup artist came over and said, oh, it's running a little bit, let me touch it up. And what they did was they actually covered it up so it wasn't visible. Then they went into the interview. They came back and reported overwhelmingly that there was bias by the interviewer based on their facial scar, even though the interviewer couldn't see it and there was no scar there. And so what happens is we prime ourselves based on our limitations or what we think our limitations are. And so let's say we actually do have a scar or something that we think other people will discriminate against us for. We're priming ourselves to be discriminated against because of it, because of our limiting belief. Okay? How do you turn that around? Well, if you remember a study many, many years ago that Pavlov did with his dogs, that was conditioning. It was, they referenced it as a bell, that every time the dogs got fed, a bell would ring, but it was actually a metronome. But whatever it happened to be, make a noise. Eventually, they took the food away from the dogs and they only made the bell or the metronome sound, and the dogs started to salivate because they associated through conditioning that food was coming right after the bell. Okay? So how do we apply these concepts of conditioning and of priming to our clients? It doesn't have to be devious, it doesn't have to be misleading, but certainly if you have a prospect that you'd like to do business with and you frequent their establishment or happen to drive by, take a picture of their location. Some of you are very good about leaving reviews. If you like the place, leave a positive review. Go out of your way to go and patronize or use the service or product of somebody that you'd like to do business with. And then go outside the box and give them a review. Prime them so that they get to know you before you ever give them a presentation. So remember, you're priming yourselves, you're conditioning yourselves, you have limiting beliefs, but how do we turn that around and then use it to get more clients and more prospects? Because you're either being primed or conditioned, or you're actually doing the priming and the conditioning.